we became country number 2 in the whole world in athletics. And I'm told number 1 is a huge country called the United States, which is almost a continent.
Welcome to today's video, guys. My name is It's_Kisaka. So pleased to have you back on this channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about why small nations such as Jamaica, Kenya, and Botswana are outpacing giants like the USA. Come to think of it, guys, the USA is like a continent, very huge. And countries like Jamaica, in as much as how little they are, countries like Kenya, in as much as how little they are, countries like Botswana, and the rest, name them, South Africa, they are really competing with USA. Just imagine if Jamaica was as huge as USA, what would happen? How many medals will come out of Jamaica? Jamaica is just a tiny island, but it has produced great athletes, great sprinters of all time. Over the years, Jamaica has been producing great sprinters, great coaches. It is said that Jamaica is small, but they talawa. In as much as they didn't do that well in this Paris Olympics, we are proud of Team Jamaica and Team Africa. And we are grateful for the whatever we have. And we will not stop at that. We will work really hard. And there's something that I don't know if some people know. Like if you carefully look at the USA team, you'll discover that there are a number of some Jamaicans in that team. A good example like Gabby Thomas. She's a Jamaican. When you go to Canada, there are some names that are in those athletes whose roots are from Jamaica. There are some countries whose athletes are from Africa. Recently, I saw online one shot put athlete. She's a lady from Nigeria. She has her roots from Nigeria. There are many also athletes, long distance runners, who some are from Africa. There's one athlete who's from Somalia. There are some Kenyans who trace their roots from Kenya, and they're running in countries like Bahrain. So this is a message to all the Jamaicans. Be proud of your athletes. Don't go online posting things negative about them. Congratulate them and encourage them. Because I know we as Africans, we as Jamaicans, we as small, tiny nations, we will not stop at that. We will work hard to get more. Recently, in the concluded Paris Olympics 2024 Olympics Games, Kenya, a country in Africa, my beautiful country, became number 2 globally after USA. It's like we were competing with a continent. You know, USA is very huge. All the states in USA is like countries because they are very huge. One state is like the size of Kenya. And in spite of all that, we are very happy to celebrate the 11 medals that we won. Even though the US has a lot of medals, that is 126. We are happy and we are contented with what we have at the moment, and we will work hard to get more in future. Currently, in the recently concluded Paris 2024 Olympics, Kenya was the best team in Africa, according to medal standings. We were the number 1 team in Africa. We are the number 1 team in Africa. And Kenya, guys, has been competing in long distance running. From time to time, Kenya has been producing great athletes. Just like Jamaica. The difference between Jamaica and Kenya is that Kenya does well in middle distance and long distance sprints. Imagine if these countries were as big as USA, we will be doing wonders. We will be having not even hundreds of medals, thousands of medals. But I think also we need to work, especially the African countries, we need to work on some of the competitors like diving, break dancing. If we will work on that, I'm sure the USA will face dust. So guys, there's a video that I have of the Kenyan president welcoming the athletes, the Olympic athletes who brought in the medals. Let's look at the video and then I get back and share one and two things. This is the video.
When I commissioned this team a few weeks ago, Team Kenya, to go and represent our country at the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics, I reminded you that you are both our best and the world's finest athletes. Today, I am extremely happy, delighted to welcome you back from your successful mission in Paris. You undertook the calling and understood the burden of shouldering our collective aspirations and dreams as a nation on the global stage. And I say, you did not disappoint. Leading this remarkable feat were our golden stars. And you know them. Beatrice Jebet here. Tupige makofi huyu mrembo jamani. Who not only conquered the 5,000 but also brought home gold in the 10,000 meters, marking her place as a true queen of middle distance running. And of course, Faith, the one and only Kipyegon, who continues to rewrite history with her third consecutive back-to-back, as he says in her own words, Olympic gold in 1,500 meters and a silver in 5,000. And we all have a rough estimate of why that 5,000 went the way it did. Yeah? And of course we have Emmanuel Wanyonyi, who brought home gold in 800 meters, a victory that cements his status as a rising star in Kenyan athletics. And when I had a chat with him this morning, he just graduated as the president of Athletics Kenya said, from the juniors now to the real game. And he has a bright future, as we all can see. Let me also celebrate Ronald Kwemoy, who secured bronze in 1,500. And Helen, of course, Obiri, and Benson Kipruto brought home bronze in the women's and men's marathons, respectively, reminding us that even in the face of challenges, our athletes never lose sight of the finish line and will fight for glory to the tape. We saw them, and sometimes we never understand the sacrifices that are made, the commitment that is put in place, and the determination over many hours, many days, weeks, months, and years for one to do that final minute dash and win. Congratulations to you all. Your victories are just not medals that you carry. They are symbols of our national character, a testament to what we can achieve when we believe in ourselves. On behalf of every Kenyan, I am profoundly proud of you and grateful to you, Team Kenya, for taking the heart, soul, and spirit of your fellow countrymen to Paris and shining for our motherland. Every time we saw the Kenyan flag, every time the Kenyan national anthem was played, we felt on top of the world. It was quite an emotional moment, and we are very proud to receive you back home. But our pride doesn't end there. As a country, we have set our standards and expectations extremely high when it comes to gold and championships and tournaments. While we acknowledge your impressive performance, we also recognize that our potential remains immense. Our athletics are increasingly, or is increasingly, under encroachment from countries that have studied, learned, and perfected our skills to our detriment. As a government, at the national and county levels, we must scale up our deliberate collaboration with all stakeholders, such as sports federations, to develop a sports policy framework that will address these gaps and stop what is going on so that we can progress our sports ecosystem to the place where we all want it to be. We all know why we have 4 gold medals. Because the 5th gold medal on steeplechase is missing. This morning is a great morning, ladies and gentlemen, as I receive Beatrice, Faith, Emmanuel, Kwemoy, Obiri, and all the good people. These people are great Kenyans. It is not always that on a global stage, a country is celebrated. It reminds us as a country what we can achieve together. I want to persuade us as Kenyans to celebrate our successes. We are a great nation. I know we set standards, very high standards for ourselves, but I also want to dare say that even as we set standards very high for ourselves, let us remember to celebrate our achievements. Let us remember to celebrate our success. It is not always that you become number 1 in Africa. It is not always that you become number 2 globally in athletics. It is a major feat. Even as we criticize ourselves, we must remember to celebrate our success so that we don't judge ourselves too harshly and sometimes bring down the spirits of the men and women who do their best, go out of their way, make sacrifices to make our country great. In our midst, we have great men and women. We have Kipchoge Keino here, a legend. Can we celebrate Kipchoge Keino? We have always known Kipchoge Keino. In fact, many people think he's in the league of Vasco da Gama. Because he's part of our history. He's part of what we learned as we grew up. The fact that he's still here in our midst is a great testament of what sports can do to a person. Congratulations, Mzee. And we will continue to celebrate you. We have great sportsmen. Just seated next to him is a great medalist, gold medalist. Yeah? Ezekiel Kemboi. You know? At one point he was called Babayao of sports. Yeah? And of course we have the great man who is now the president of our NOC. You know? Paul Tergat. And we have many. And what do I say? You know, about the man who tells us, no man is unlimited. Eliud Kipchoge. Yeah? Eliud is a great legend, you know, and I know how people were disappointed. You know, many people, you know, made all manner of comments. How can Eliud not finish? You know? But Eliud, we celebrate you. You have held our flag high. You are a great Kenyan. You are a great legend. And many of the other athletes, please, people, let us celebrate these men and women. Let us criticize them less. They do a lot. They go out of their way. They make sacrifices to make our flag be flown in capitals around the world. Right? You know, I know we set for ourselves very high standards, but we must be careful to know that when we are successful, we must remind ourselves to thank God and to celebrate and to appreciate. So I am very happy this morning, really, that these great men and women have brought success to us. They have brought glory to our country. We are celebrating here, and we should never, ever take for granted. You saw the kind of celebration in Botswana for 1 gold medal. 1. We have 4. Huh? You know? And if you read some places, people are criticizing, oh, you know, our team did not do very well. I don't know what. I don't know what they would do if there are many countries who went with large teams to Olympics. They never got a single medal. You know? Out of the 8 gold medals in the Olympics, that came to Africa, 4 came to Kenya. This is a wonderful, wonderful moment for us. Many people will visit Kenya because of what they see in our sportsmen and women. Many people will come to Kenya because of the brand of our country that we have elevated. And we must continue to elevate brand Kenya in every way that is possible. I wish every Kenyan can make a contribution as small as it is or as big as they can to make Kenya that brand that the world wants to look up to. And we cannot brand Kenya by doing negative things. We can only brand Kenya by doing the things that the world can celebrate about us.
So guys, this is the video of Kenyan president fitting and awarding the athletes who competed in the Paris Olympics 2024. And in the video, the athletes were awarded with some cash money. I understand that the medalists normally get something out of the Olympics, but apart from that, the country decided to award them with some token of appreciation. And in the meeting them, there's some points that the Kenyan president made across. One of it is that we should learn to celebrate the success and the achievements of our athletes despite at times setting high standards. Because he said there are some countries who go in numbers to compete in the Olympics and in other competitions, and then at the end of the day, they don't get even a single medal. So we should be contented and be happy. We should be grateful. Whether you win, whether you become number one, whether you become the last, you should learn to celebrate them. There are athletes like Omanyala, who competed in the 100 meters men dash. He only came out he didn't make it to the final. He was removed from the semi-finals. But personally, and some Kenyans, we celebrate Omanyala. Because by just making it to the Olympics, he has given a name to Africa, and Kenya is one of the few Africans making Africa proud in 100 meters men dash. I also congratulate the likes of Akani Simbine from South Africa and Letsile Tebogo, who made it to the final. So we celebrate and should celebrate and be proud of our achievements, because these athletes put in a lot of sacrifice and work. They wake up almost in every day to run around, exercise, so that they can keep fit and break records. We should talk positively about our countries and the athletes. If you keep on speaking negatively about our country, who will speak positive about our countries? We are the people to show the world the goodness within our countries. We should talk positively about them. We should not go about the social media platforms and bombarding them with strong words, negative statements, even if they have competed and maybe they have not come out in position 1 or 2. It's not always that one has to win. By just the verge of competing, making it to the Olympics, there are some teams that wish to get there. So by getting there, that's an achievement. And also the president talked about countries encroaching the study, learn and perfect our skills. Over here in Kenya, guys, I've told you, we are very good in long distance and middle distances. So recently, most of the athletes from some of these superpower countries like Canada, USA, and others have been coming and camping around in Kenya, training. There are some who take even the whole year in Kenya to train. It is not bad, because when they come, they also provide employment opportunities to the locals that are around those areas. And also, one thing, Kenya has a very good environment for long distance runners. There's an area known as Iten, Eldoret. Most of the runners like to train there because of the altitude. The altitude is very high and the temperature is ideal for long distance runners. So there are some who come and study, and then it's like they're encroaching on what we do, on what we tend to do, and steal some of the ideas. So the president is talking about some policies and cooperation among different stakeholders so that this problem might be addressed once and for all. Another point that the president has talked about is about tourist attraction. When Jamaicans run and break records like Usain Bolt, Asafa Powell, despite Jamaica being a small country, a lot of tourists tend to go there because Jamaica is known all over the world. Same applies to Kenya. Kenya is known all over the world because of our athletes. By them winning the medals, breaking the records, attract tourists and builds a good brand name for the country. Look, recently Botswana, Letsile Tebogo broke a 200 meters record in Africa. He broke the record of 200 meters in Africa and defeated Noah Lyles from the big country that is like a continent, USA. He defeated Noah Lyles and became number 1, position 1. We are so proud of Letsile Tebogo. And with that, a lot of tourists tend to be attracted there. And because of this, we should talk positively about our countries. We Africans, we should talk positively about our countries. We Jamaicans, we should talk positively about our country. We should not go on sharing the negativities. We need more positivities. The good things about the athletes, the good things about the countries, the touristic places. So this is the video for today. Thank you so much for always supporting me. If you're not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel. And also remember to share this video to some of your friends and relatives. I'm so pleased and so happy to always come back and do these videos just for you. Cheers, guys. See you on the next video.